Welcome back to Power Play. We want to bring you now an exclusive conversation with a familiar face to many Canadians. General Romeo Dallaire is ready to return to public life after undergoing a serious health scare earlier this year. General Dallaire was set to go on a national book tour this spring to promote his latest book, but had to postpone it due to a health battle. Dallaire is a former Canadian senator and one of the world's most renowned humanitarians. He also served notably as force commander of the UN's mission for Rwanda during the 1994 genocide. Dallaire's book, The Peace, A Warrior's Journey, is out in stores now and explores past and postmodern conflicts as well as a path towards peace. He will also be rescheduling the book tour very soon. Retired Lieutenant General Dallaire is my guest. Hi, General Dallaire. Pleasure to welcome you back to our show. It's wonderful to see you, and particularly wonderful to see you looking so well. How are you doing?
I am doing quite well. Thank you very much. You're quite correct. I've had about over 6 months, nearly 7 months of a variety of pneumonia and things on my kidneys and God knows what else. And so I've come through all the tests and all the exams and time to sort of rest and recuperate. And so I'm now ready to take on take on all the duties that I used to have, and hopefully some more with the book that's coming out, and move ahead.
And I have lots of questions about your book in a moment, but I just want to make sure we understand. So because a lot of people were worried, given that you did have a book tour plan that you had to ultimately cancel. You're through the treatments now, and ultimately everything has been successful. But it was, I think I was told it was sort of a lingering infection from the past.
Yeah, in 1992, I went to Cambodia and I picked up something. And they told me that I had some sort of Asian type virus that wasn't just responding, and so they had to do some pretty heavy intravenous work, and they ultimately killed it because it was affecting my prostate and kidneys and so on. And so sometimes stuff can linger a long time, but now all that is all cleared up. I'm not saying that between my ears everything's cleared up, that's for sure, but at least with the love of Marie and her keeping an eye on me and all the tests, I was very thankful for all the support I got.
And you will resume, I'm also told, your book tour, heading, to different parts of Quebec as well as Ottawa. The book is called The Peace, A Warrior's Journey. And we spoke when it first launched, but I do think it has particular relevance in this moment that we're in right now. If you were to describe, with, two very big wars happening as we speak, the relevance of your message in this book, what would you say?
Long overdue. And the reason I say that is that for hundreds of years, we have been spending our time beating the living daylights out of each other around the world, even though with Westphalia, we created nation states and sovereignty and nationalism and all that to sort of stop war. What we've seen is nothing more than truces. We've really not seen peace. And peace means lasting. It means you're not looking at your 6 o'clock anymore. It means that you can work with others, and the frictions of some of your differences are, in fact, manageable through respect and through the capacity of you to want to remain at peace and find that serenity. And so what I wrote was essentially saying, a guide to say there is an ultimate aim to humanity that is lasting peace, and that our satisfaction with all our diplomatic structures and security structures and political institutions have focused on really trying to, get rid of a problem versus trying to solve it and ultimately bring us peace.
You talk also in the book about how yourself, your own experience emerging from all of the terrible things that happened through the genocide, the promises that followed once the recognition eventually was there about what occurred, about sort of the changes that would be made to aim toward peace, the institutions that were put in place, the processes that were put in place, and ultimately how they all reverted back to kind of essentially the status quo. Do you have a sense now if the incentive or the will, I guess is a better word to put it, whether the will exists in governments in the world or even institutions to do what you're saying, to aim for peace rather than live with war?
It is with enormous regret that I say that I don't think that the political elites of the world have even come close to statesmanship, as we used to call it, where in fact we're looking at solving problems through guidance and leadership and not simply trying to stop something or even barely attempt to prevent something catastrophic from happening, and then be satisfied with a compromise that we know will have no legs and so on. So no, I don't think that the depth is there. However, there are pressures in this time that are going to force a significant change. I've even used the term revolution, and not being in uniform now, I can say it easier. That's going to be going on between the era of the boomers and the post-boomers and the millennials, the Zs, the As. There is a whole new focus of the youth and a screaming of their desire to be fully participatory in the future and impatience of because they have a mastery of the technology, which is still immature and so on, to actually move the yardsticks. And they're starting to realize that in democracies, as an example, in many countries, they hold the balance of power. The young people have the number of votes that have never been used. So they're starting to pick that up. And the third element of this sort of revolutionary time that's looking at us in the face, and we're not taking full consciousness of it, is that the male-dominated, egocentric, sort of misogynist, paternalistic leadership that has built all the institutions of the world for all these years and have made women supportive and, in fact, secondary, is not going to carry on, nor will it be able to sustain itself, as we want to see women be equals and fully integrate their characteristics and their skills and their abilities and their instincts into a new philosophy of leadership that gets us away from that male-dominated philosophy and this power-based concept of peace into something far more sophisticated and far more flexible to achieve lasting peace.
Can I ask you, just jumping on off of that, one final question, and it's somewhat political in nature, which I know is not normally the gist of our exchanges, but you know, there is a woman running to be president south of the border. Obviously, the United States is still a huge factor in everything that you just discussed and so much of what you talk about in your book. Do you think her assuming that role would make a difference in what you just laid out?
Every woman that has a desire and is being also held back, both the desire to succeed and is being held back, has an inherent responsibility of pushing the envelope and not imitating the male-dominated world that we have, but in fact, bringing about a revolutionary change where they are equal. And so her job is not to imitate those of the past. Her job is to reform the system of governance in which the women are seen as fully capable of accomplishing all the abilities of the male dominance, but also of moving the yardsticks, of bringing men along to want to see that change. And the youth, who are far more integrated than us, they are going to be pushing because they're really impatient and they're very integrated in that way.
General Dallaire, I'm going to leave it on that note. Like I said, I'm so happy to see you in good health. I appreciate you making time for the conversation tonight, and best of luck with the book tour.
Well, all the best, and thanks very much.